Hello, hello. Mic check. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Um, can I just get somebody to let me know if the audio is working? Just a simple, yeah, it's working, or I can hear you is good. I'll just wait a second until someone says something. Audio good. Thank you, Shai Sarai. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Yes, so today is a birthday stream. Today is my birthday, December 3rd. I've already seen a ton of comments saying happy birthday. So thank you so much for the well wishes. Um, it's crazy how quickly time passes. Today, I'm 43, which just seems crazy to me that I'm this old. Like, where did the time go? I can't even, you know, it's just crazy how quickly time passes. It's also one of those things where I remind myself that you can't just let time slip away. It goes by so quickly, and you just want to make the best of it. Um, Again, thank you to everybody in chat who's already like wished me a happy birthday. I appreciate it. Um, Today was kind of a low key day for me. I actually didn't do much of anything. Kind of just um, hung around the apartment for a little bit. Went to get a haircut. That's it, and then fast. uh, so right now I am still currently fasting. I am actually breaking tonight. That's my birthday gift to myself, everybody. I'm gonna break tonight. Nothing special that I'm really eating. I thought about going to the Cheesecake Factory and buying like a slice of pumpkin cheesecake so I could compare it to pumpkin pie, but I just it wasn't that serious. I'm just excited to like eat my regular amount of food and like the basics I normally eat. So, but very low key day. So actually, this is probably the more exciting part of my day is to talk to all of you and to see everyone in the chat. And again, thank you so much for the well wishes. So let's go ahead and start. I'm going to do a little something different today. So since I am 43, what I want to do is I actually want to share a couple photos, and I have a reason for doing this, but I just want to share a couple photos. Maybe I'm sure there's a lot of them that you've seen that I've either posted on Instagram, maybe some that you haven't. But there's a whole point to this. And so obviously, like me as a baby, um, and then moving on here. Oh, how can I switch this? Can I do this on the screen? Oh, do I have to like hold on, guys? Give me 1 second. Maybe I can't actually like go through it all. Maybe I have to like do it one by one. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. So let's start this again. Yes. So here, me as a baby, um, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen this as a kid. This is probably me at like 6 or 7 years old. I think six. This is kindergarten for me. My uneven bowl cut. Moving on here, this is a picture of me. I've shown a lot of these, but there's going to be some maybe new ones that you haven't seen. And you know, growing up as a kid, I was always chubby. I was always overweight. Um, as I've gotten older, this is probably in my late teens. You could tell by the super old digital camera. I think I was probably 18 or 19 here. I think by this age, I was already in like the 220s easy. So I've always been overweight, obese, morbidly obese. You know, when I say 220 pounds, for people who don't know, you know, just to remind everyone that like I'm 5'3". So being that weight at this height, it's just that's being morbidly obese. So I've been this weight for a very, very long time. and then again, probably sometime in my early 20s. And then I think I've shown these because this is probably some of the photos that I have, the few that I have where like I think I'm at my heaviest, and you could see that weight like right here in my stomach. Um, Again, you can see that here. These photos are so awful, but I'm just I'm getting to a point here. So um, here's one of the things that I wanted to share that I think I haven't shared with a lot of people before is yes, I've always been overweight, obese, morbidly obese, but it doesn't mean that I haven't tried to lose weight before. And all of this time, and this is like 2014, I can't even remember putting this photo together, but you know, these are the trials and tribulations of me trying to lose weight, always trying to lose weight. And back then, I didn't know about fasting. I didn't find fasting until maybe 2018, but this says 2014, but I've tried way before that to lose weight, but then gain it back, lose weight, and then gain it back. None of these were ever through fasting. The majority of it was always by calorie restriction, by either severe calorie restriction, and then maybe later on finding low carb or keto. The point being here is I wasn't always just 225, 235 my entire life. There's been a lot of moments where I would try to lose the weight and I would always get to a certain weight, which is around 185, kind of where I'm at right now. I would always hit this weight no matter in my 20s or my 30s, but then I would always gain it back and it was never sustainable. Um, and then obviously these are pictures from 2021, 2022, where you all knew me or people who have been following my channel have known me then. And these photos of me at this weight has always been, I guess, the lowest I've ever hit, ever. I've never been any lower than that. But one of the things I do want to point out is fasting is the reason that I got to this point. Fasting is the reason that I got to not only take that weight off, but keep it off for a sustainable amount of time. I started fasting in September of 2019, and that rode out all the way until July of 2022. Yeah, 20, right? 2021, 2021, not 2022. Um, but you know, in that run, that was the longest I was ever able to really keep that weight off. So, point being, fasting is my answer. Fasting is my method of not only losing the weight, but finding a way to keep it off and get to that lowest point where I've never been able to achieve it for like the past 37, 38 years until being able to do that. This last picture I do want to share with you here is a picture that was taken October 31st. And I haven't shown anyone this, but just to give you an idea, because remember, I started fasting November 6th. So this happened about 5 or 6 days after. But this was me dressing up at the portrait studio that I work at. I dressed up as Mario for Halloween, and I didn't really get the breadth of how much weight I've gained until I saw this picture and they shared it with me. Um, I was very embarrassed when I saw this photo. Like I thought the photo was funny just in general, dressing up as Mario at the portrait studio, whatever. Um, but to kind of see myself get to this point again after losing so much weight, it was a big wake up call for me seeing this photo and telling myself that I had to make changes, that I had to, you know, get myself out of this position, and that's kind of where I'm at today. So, again, just wanted to share that. Just wanted to share the fact that fasting is the only thing that has really kept me to lose this weight, but to consistently lose it, and to have a proper mindset of saying, hey, like this is something I can do, this is something that works. And I just want to be able to share that knowledge with everyone else as I move forward with this. So just to give you a quick rundown right now. So I'm 92 hours and 37 minutes into my fast. So I have now completed another 90 plus hour fast. I'm probably going to end this right after this stream. I mean, I'm still going to have to like cook food and do whatever, but hopefully I'll end somewhere, or I'll break somewhere in the 93-ish hour mark. So uh, with that being said, let me get into, I'm just checking my notes. Oh, before I do get into the slides, I also want to mention the last episode of Refeed. I didn't realize how many of you actually watched episodes of Refeed and how many of you actually enjoy it. I read through all the comments. I was very surprised how many comments there were. So Refeed will be here to stay. It won't be something, again, that I'm going to be doing every time I break. Like tonight, I'm not going to be making an episode of Refeed, but it is something that I'm going to move forward with, maybe at least like maybe once a week or so, but we'll see what that cadence is going to be when I start doing those again. But thank you for people who liked it, people who do watch it, people who commented, because it was a good indicator for me to say, okay, well, let me go ahead and keep making these types of videos. So, all right, let's go ahead and let's get into the last 28 days. So again, I am now 4 weeks into my fasting lifestyle, which is pretty much a lifestyle of rolling fasts. So I want to share here all of the info that I've done in the last 28 days. So I'm currently on my 7th fast, but I have now completed I've completed 7 fasts at this point. The last, what is that? The last 5 being 90 plus hour fasts. Out of these 7, one of them being an almost 168-hour fast, which is 1 week's worth of fasting. The very first 2 fasts were my like warm-up fasts, if you want to call it that. One being a 47-hour fast, just about a 47-hour, and then another being a 67. And then everything after that, 90 plus hour minimum. The last thing I have here is, and these are things I'm going to point out, is it's so important that the best way to fast is the way that works for you. What do I mean by that? I've noticed there's a lot of new subscribers to my channel. I started looking at the analytics, and it looks like there are a lot of new people who don't, who just started watching me. So again, when I do these 90-hour fasts, when I did this 163-hour fast, I just want everyone to understand that this isn't how you have to do it. I fast for this period of time because I tend to overeat. When I refeed, I eat 4, 5, 6,000 calories. It hasn't been that much lately, but because I do eat that way, I fast for that long so I can continue to lose weight. If you're better about eating, if you're better about maybe your exercise regimen, then you might not have to fast for as long. So again, you need to find what works best for you when it comes to fasting. All right, let's move on to the next slide here. Now, these are the eating windows in the last 28 days. So you'll see here, out of these 28 days, I have only eaten 6 times in those 28 days. And when I say 6 times, it doesn't mean that I've eaten for 6 days. It means that in these 6 times, I've only eaten in these time frames. So the very first fast that I broke, which was 47 hours, I only ate for 57 minutes. And then the second one, 3 hours and 51 minutes, here under 2 hours, another about 2 hours. You'll see I highlighted day 20 because this was my 7-day fast. And even after my 7-day fast, I only kept the window open at 3 hours and 54 minutes. My eating window is under 4 hours. Your eating window might vary. That's why there are some people who do 16-hour fasts with an 8-hour eating window. But You probably can do an 8-hour eating window if you can control the way you eat, if you can eat under the amount of calories to either maintain your weight or to lose weight. Again, a lot of this is going to come down to what works best for you. You know your body better than anybody else. I know my body better than anybody else. And that's why I figured out this number for fasting, this number for an eating window, this number for how many calories I can eat, the number for how often I should exercise. All of that comes down to you. I'm just trying to help you build the bases, the basic structure to get the foundations to get to where you need to be to either lose weight, maintain weight, or if you're not even doing either of those, just to get the benefits of fasting in general. Okay, next slide. Exercise. Again, you'll see at the bottom here, you need to exercise the best way that works for you. For me, right now, what I do is I walk 6 of the 7 days of the week. I walk for at least 1 hour, and I go to the gym to strength train. At the beginning here, the first 2 weeks, I was only going 2 times a week, but now I've upped that to 3 times a week. You'll see here for the last week or so, it's been pretty much the same. 3 days of strength training, 6 days of walking at least an hour. The last 2 days, which interestingly enough, have been my longer fasting days, is when I had actually the most energy. I was able to lift, walk longer, felt really good. Even today, I felt really good going to the gym. Yesterday felt exactly the same. These times and days may vary, but I always make sure to give myself a rest day once a week as well. Okay, let's talk about sleep really quick. I do mention sleep a lot, and the importance of sleep. And the first 3 weeks were actually pretty good, considering the first week was very rough for me as I haven't been in a normal sleeping pattern. When I started fasting again, that's when I forced myself to sleep better. You'll see here this past week, days 26, I slept for 5 hours. And then last night, I slept for 3. My sleeping this past week has been pretty awful. Last night, was a rough night for me. I, there are things that are happening in my life outside of fasting, outside of trying to take care of myself that I can't control. It's stressing me out a lot. And last night I laid in bed at like 12:30 in the morning, and I lay there for 4 hours straight. So from 12:30 to 4:30, I could not fall asleep. My mind had a lot going on, or I had a lot on my mind, and I was really stressed out. But the interesting part about it is there wasn't a moment in those 4 hours when I was laying in bed where I told myself, man, if I could eat right now, that would make me feel better. And I will say that was, for me, that was eye-opening, even though I wanted my eyes closed because it was so late. But to know that I wasn't thinking about food during those 4 hours, it really helped me, I guess, see things a little more clearly in terms of like maybe where my head is at right now. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to be like that in the future, but I'll take that as a win. I mean, the 3 hours of sleep, yeah, it's pretty awful. But one of the things that I've said is now that I'm not able to stress eat, that I'm not able to emotionally eat, when I have these things that are stressing me out or I have things on my mind, the only way I can cope with it is to either face the issue head on or go for a walk and kind of like clear my head, go to the gym, do something to keep my mind busy. And, these are things that I'm not going to be obviously sharing in front of the camera. I'm still dealing with a lot of other personal issues that are just very rough on me. And I'm trying to get through it without eating, without having to emotionally eat. And I mean, I'm doing it. That's all I can say. Not only am I doing it, but like I'm proving it to all of you of where I've been 4 weeks ago and to where I am today. So, awful sleep this week, something that I want to be better next week, but we'll see what those numbers look like. So, let's go back into here and let's kind of get into this next slide. So, I want to go ahead and I want to share my weight. Again, for all of you who don't know, day one, I weighed in at 217.8 pounds. That's when I first started on November 6th. That's 98.8 kilograms. On day 20, so day 20 is after I completed my almost 1 week fast. I was already down to 190.6 pounds, which is 86.5 kilograms, a loss of 27.2 pounds. And then today, day 28, December 3rd, my birthday, today I weighed in at 186.2 pounds. So 84.5 kilograms. That's a 31.6 pound drop in 28 days. That's still over 1 pound a day. I know that number isn't going to last. I know that I'm not going to be losing a pound a day indefinitely. I'm pretty sure this week it's not going to be a pound a day. I can't imagine finishing this next week out on day 35, losing 35 pounds. I'd be a little surprised if I did, but I'm not worried about that. Because right now, I know the 90-hour fasts are working. I know the way I'm refeeding works, the exercise that I put in. I know all of that works to give me the benefit of consistently and continually losing weight. For me, it shows not only physically, but like the mental part of myself is a lot more alert, focused. My mindset is where it needs to be at physically. I'm dropping, a size in clothes. Like this shirt I'm wearing now, I bought it today, like an adult large. It was like I didn't want to go spend money on like going a size down, but I just wanted to see if I fit into it properly. And I do now because a lot of the adult XLs I have, they look so baggy and it looks a little embarrassing when I'm working at the portrait studio because it feels like it's kind of hanging off at this point. But I'm going to try to wear them as long as I can before I have to like really, really switch over. But again, when you see this weight here, you will notice that all the days after I refed. So, for example, if you look at, and let me make this larger again, if you look at day 6, right, I gained 4.2 pounds after the refeed. But you'll see at day 10, after another refeed, I gained 2.2 pounds, 2.6 pounds. But notice what's happening even after all of these refeeds. Every weight as I continues to drop. So even though I'm eating 4,000 calories, 5,000 calories, it doesn't matter because I'm fasting for 90 plus hours. I'm fasting for so long that I cannot possibly eat. Well, I could, but I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to eat 3.5 days, 4 days worth of food. So and that's why I leave these weights after refeed here. So you can see that you shouldn't worry so much about what weight you're hitting at after the refeed, because if you trust the process, if you continue to fast, if you continue to do what you plan to do, to know what works for you, you will continue to lose weight. Again, 28 days, that's 4 weeks. I went from 217.8 to 186.2, 32 pounds, almost 32 pounds in 28 days. Just a couple final notes about refeeds. So my refeeds personally are around 4,000 to 6,000 calories, but I give myself no caloric maximum. I get asked this question a lot about what I'm eating. How am I refeeding? Am I doing keto or low carb or carnivore or I don't know, gluten-free or vegan? And the answer to that is no to all of them. I eat anything and everything that I'm craving. That's how I do my refeeds. I do a lot of that because I know that if I restrict myself on certain foods, that's a big trigger for me to get out of the plan I set for myself. I'm already fasting for 90 plus hours. I'm not eating for 3.5 days. The 4 hour window I give myself to eat whatever I want, I feel like is a good compromise. You might not agree with that, and that's okay. But I know that I'm continuing to lose weight. I know that I'm feeling better. I know that I'm getting healthier. I'm able to exercise fine during my fasts. I'm able to work and function, and I have no issues. And so that's what works for me. That being said, and you'll see it's highlighted here again, is you need to refeed the best way that works for you. So I'm not telling you what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat, but you probably know what works for your body best. You probably know what. So here's the thing, too. It's not just the physical part of it. Someone like me who has disordered eating, it's such a big mental part of what I do. And that's why when I talk about feeling triggered by restricting myself, that's part of my issues with disordered eating. I guess the next part to some people who might ask is like, well, why don't you get help? I am getting help. I see a therapist regularly. I've been seeing a therapist now for over a year. So it's not like I haven't been working on my issues. I've spent over a year not even trying to get back into the fasting like regimen because I was just trying to get my mind right and trying to figure out, well, what the hell am I going to do next? How am I going to like cope with even trying to get back into fasting? Should I even come back to YouTube? I mean, these are things that I have been dredging over for over a year, is facing a lot of these facts, facing the reality of it. And again, this is what works for me. The way I refeed, I do what works for me. The way I fast, I do what works for me. The way I exercise, I do what works for me. You need to take those principles and apply it to what works for you. So I'm just going to keep drilling that down every single time, because everybody can benefit with some type of fasting. We all fast anyway, right? We go to sleep 6, 7, 8 hours, 9 hours. We're fasted. The question is, do you want to fast for longer? Do you find a benefit in fasting longer? Do you have weight to lose? Do you want to find or reap the benefits of doing extended fasting, whether you're losing weight or not? Those are only questions that you can answer for yourself. Oh my God, a $20 super sticker from David. I can't see that super sticker right now, but I will later after the stream. David, thank you so much for the $20 donation. I appreciate it so much. I, you didn't even say anything. um, if you were trying to say happy birthday, I'll thank you so much. Thank you, David. Thank you for the $20. I appreciate it. Thank you for the donate. Thank you for the donation. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Um, yes. So where I was at again, you have to find what works for you. I I will help you get to where you need to be by sharing my knowledge and what I do and how to maybe apply or tweak it. But the rest is really up to you. It doesn't mean you can't do a 90-hour fast like I'm doing. I just, again, there's a big part of consistency that comes within doing that. So we'll get into those little parts too. I want to see here if there was another part. Okay. So continuing on with this, I put the slide together and I called it roll fast, roll often. When I say roll fast, I don't mean to just do rolling fast really fast. I mean that you need to do rolling fast. I don't know. I was trying to make it sound, what's the word? Catchy. But pretty much what I'm trying to say is there is a benefit in just fasting in general. Again, we do it every day. We go to sleep. We're already fasting. The question is if you want to extend that fast after you wake up or apply it later down during the day. I mean, it really depends. One of the things that I want to explain though is rolling fasts don't always have to be extended. They don't have to always be a 90-hour fast, a 36-hour fast. They don't have to be back to back 90s like I'm doing. They don't have to be back to back 36s or whatever number it is. Maybe you want to just do a fast during the weekend, and then during the rest of the week, you're doing 16/8 Monday to Friday, or vice versa, right? Maybe you're fasting throughout the week. Maybe you're fasting Monday through Friday, and then you're eating on Saturdays and Sundays, doing a 16/8, or maybe it's even more lax than that, where you have a much smaller eating window. The methods of doing this, I mean, they're pretty much, I don't like, not, what's the word? They're limitless. They're unlimited. You can apply this however you want. You could also apply it to the way you're feeling. So maybe you've been doing, like for me, maybe I've been doing 90s for, let's say I've been doing 90s for 2 months. And then all of a sudden I want to switch to 65s, or I don't feel good one day and I just want to do a 36, or something really special is happening and I want to eat and I want to celebrate. Then I'll take that break. But the part that's most important, and what I have here, this bullet point where I talk about consistency is greater than length. And I mean that. Yeah, I'm doing longer fasts. I mean, I'm not new to this. I'm used to doing 90+ hour fasts. I also feel fine when I do it. So for me, it isn't, I don't want to say it isn't difficult, but for me, it feels very normal. And all I'm trying to say is, if you plan to do a 90 and you end up doing a 36 or a 65 or what have you, the fact or the action of being consistent and doing your eating window or eating on that special day and then doing another rolling after and getting back on track, that's so much more important than the length of your fast. And I mean, I obviously am an example of that, because I was consistent for, almost 2 years or whatever. And that consistency went away when I started to let emotional eating take over. If I had just been transparent and I just, you know, talked about the ups and downs, but again, that's maybe for another day. That's always, you know, that's maybe something I'll go into length with another day, but I feel like I've talked about it in length pretty much. TG Simmons with a $20 donation. TG Simmons, thank you so much. Happy birthday. Question, do you ever eat Filipino food? Well, okay, first of all, TG, thank you so much. But what kind of question is that? Do I ever eat Of course I eat Filipino food. I eat Filipino food. I won't say all the time, but I eat Filipino food a lot. Um, Wife is Filipina. We're coming to Chicago in a few weeks. Any place for Filipino food for Refeed Day? Um, yeah. So TG Simmons, and I won't take too much time here because I know there's other people watching. They're not going to be in Chicago. TG Simmons, check out Ruby's. That's pretty good. Subo isn't bad either, but if you're looking for something high end for Filipino, look at Boonies. That's on Western on the north side, and Kasama. Kasama is the only Michelin star Filipino restaurant in the world. But Kasama has a very long wait list, so probably not. I would also check out Uncle Mike's if you want like good breakfast. That's good too. So TG Simmons, thank you for the $20 donation. Do I ever get stomach issues? Uh, when I didn't fast for almost 2.5 years and I did my first fast, I had stomach issues, but ever since then, I haven't. I get this question asked so many times, and actually I'm going to talk about this later on in a Q&A I have, so I'll get into that later. TG Simmons, though, thank you so much. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. And enjoy your trip when you get here to Chicago. So let me get back into this. Roll fast, roll often. Consistency is so much more important than the length of your fast. Again, that's just what I'm trying to point out. One of the things that I also just wanted to put here is when I talk about small steps and small successes, even if you look at just losing 1 pound a week, which is zero 0.5 kilograms a week, that still ends up being 52 pounds in a year or 23.6 kilograms in a year. I want people to understand that. I know I'm not one to talk because I'm trying to lose weight as quickly as possible. Like I'm I'm guilty of that. That's why I'm down almost 32 pounds now in 28 days because I could probably do 65-hour fasts. I could probably even do 42-hour fasts and I'd probably still lose weight, but at a much slower pace. I do these 90s because I know I can do them and I know I'm successful in doing them. And I mean, obviously, like right now, like the success is here. But for anyone who's struggling, for anyone that's having a hard time, please remember, be kind to yourself that even doing it at a smaller or a slower pace doesn't mean that you're failing. You're you're just going at a different pace and there's nothing wrong with that. And again, the consistency of doing that, saying that you were able to lose a pound a week for an entire year versus saying, "Hey, I lost 20 pounds in the first X amount of weeks and then you fell off." I mean, consistency is so important when it comes to that. Um Mindset. Let's talk about this. So, now that I'm 28 days in, now that I've done a good number of fasts, there is a big part of what I'm doing that really requires like the mental strength to get through these fasts. Um, and the mindset plays a big part of it. So, excuse me, guys. I have like, it's a Sprite Zero. Have you guys tried this? It's winter spice cranberry. Excuse me. It's okay. My throat. Okay. So, number one, when it comes to mindset, oh man, my throat is sorry, guys. Okay. Okay. Mindset. The first thing I have here is build structure. What I mean by build structure, you need to find the the foundations of your fasting protocol that work for you. You need to find that fasting regimen that you're able to do consistently. The fasting regimen that you're able to do that you know will have you either maintain your weight or lose weight if that's what you're trying to do. So finding out what your BMR is, which is what I talked about last week, right? Like how much calories your body burns if you were just in a completely rested state. Your TDEE, which is the calories that you burn when you're walking around or if you're working out. You need to find what number that is, or at least an approximation of what number that is. So you can tell yourself, okay, my body burns about this many calories a day, which means that if I eat this much a day and then I fast for this long, I'll lose weight. You got to put those pieces together. You got to build that structure. But that also means that you need to find your structure of like what your exercise regimen is going to look like. If you're even going to exercise, there are some people who can't exercise when they're fasting because it's just too much of a toll on their body. Maybe something that you can work at as you continue to fast. I mean, again, someone like me, I can go 90 plus hours and I can still go to the gym and I can still lift weights and I can still go for an hour walk. Does it mean I'm lifting the heaviest I can? Absolutely not. Not even close. I'm lifting right now. I'm lifting so I won't say light, but I'm lifting at a not I won't even say moderate weight, but at like a light moderate weight. And I think that's only going to change when my fasting length shortens. When I go from a 90 to a 65 or I go from a 65 to a 42, but when's that going to happen? I don't really know right now. Right now I'm good at what I'm doing. I feel good when I'm at the gym. I'm not changing my plan for now. But it is about building that structure. finding those numbers out, not only the way you fast, not only the way you exercise, but the way you eat as well. You got to keep those pieces together. And then the discipline to know, sorry if you hear that beeping, my dryer just finished drying. Um, okay, it's done beeping. It might beep later. But building discipline is so important in doing this too. We all, I'm guilty of this, super gung ho at the beginning, have all the motivation in the world, have all like the oomph, right? To like say, hey, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning and I'm just gonna kill it. I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna fast. I'm gonna go exercise. I'm gonna like when I refeed, I'm gonna eat this way, whatever. You get through that first fast, you refeed, you're good. Maybe you do another fast and you do it again and you're just on this high. And then all of a sudden, like you hit that wall. And I don't know if that wall is either telling you, hey, I'm so hungry, I can't do this anymore. And then you succumb to whatever it is. And, sometimes that spirals out. I've been there. I know what it's like. I'm a product of it. You've seen me at 125, and now you're seeing me at, well, 186 point whatever. And then you saw me 4 weeks ago at 217. So you've seen the process. I I'm hoping that I can continue doing this and I'll have all the motivation in the world. But I know that eventually there's going to come a point in time where something happens. I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know what it's going to be like. But in the meantime, I'm just telling myself every time I refeed, every time I fast, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing today. I'm not going to eat today. I'm not going to mess around. I'm not going to do whatever. I'm going to sleep early. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to be busy at work. I'm going to keep my mind busy. I'm not going to think about food. I'm only going to do that when it's time to refeed. That's how my mind works when I do it. You might deal with it in a different way. I keep myself busy by working. I I edit photos and I edit videos, and then sometimes I'm like stuck in front of the screen forever because I'm, taking care of my work, or I'm at a studio taking pictures and I can't even think about food because there's so many people that need photos taken, and you know whatever I'm doing with work. You know what I'm saying. It's building that structure of your routine. It's building the discipline that goes along with it. If you're ever like saying this is too hard, this sucks because no one else is doing this, or no one else is doing this, like how come everyone else gets to eat all day and not gain any weight? Hello. Hello. I've been doing this now for 4 weeks. So I just, and I don't say that to be cocky. I say it meaning that you are not alone. You're not alone when you're doing this. Know that there's somebody right now that's continually doing 90 plus hour fasts. That's for the last 28 days, for the last 4 weeks, is continually showing up to do this, to not only fast, but to get up, go to the gym, go for a walk. Even if it's 20 degrees outside, I'll go ahead and just layer up and I'll put a scarf on and I'll walk anyway. If today was raining in the morning, I didn't want to walk to the gym. I have a gym in this building, which I just forgot about and remembered that they had one. So I went to lift at the gym in my building today. I'm gonna get it done. That's where my mind is right now. I'm just so focused on getting to this goal, but also my other goals are, it's more than just losing weight. It's it's improving who I am. It's making sure that I become healthy again. It's making sure that my mind is right. It's making sure that I told my therapist this at my last session, that I just want to be a better person. I want to be a good person. I want to take time to give. My entire life I've been so, I guess, consumed with the way I look or how people think about me, that I think sometimes I've just been very selfish in my own actions. And I mean, you know, like as an example, like today's my birthday, right? And today I spent it by myself. Sorry for the beeping again. Um, because I've lost a lot of friendships and a lot of relationships because of that. And I mean, it is what it is. It was a lonely birthday today. I really look forward to this stream tonight because like I'm looking at the screen right now and there's like 166 people here, and like to know that we're a community and that we're together, like it motivates me. I mean, I feel like I'm very successful at doing this right now because I feel like I'm doing it for you guys, but I'm also doing it for myself, and I feel like we're all doing it together. Um, and I'm very thankful for this community. When I was showing my photos earlier, the big point I was getting at too is, fasting, this lifestyle for me is saving my life. It's putting me in a place where I'm not binging my nights, and I'm not putting myself in a position where like I'm afraid I'm going to get a heart attack or whatever. Anyway. Um, oh, guys, there are a couple super chats here. Audie Enthusiastic with a $5 super chat. Again, sorry guys, I just wanted to share that. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. How did you feel doing the 7-day fast? Did you have a bowel movement as usual? Did you drink a lot of carbonated soda? Uh so Audie, I did talk about this. I felt pretty good during my 7-day fast. I will say the last day or two, I did feel a little more tired, but I still was able to walk an hour. I was still able to go to the gym. I did say that I would not do another 7-day fast because it is a long time to fast. I don't see myself doing another one anytime soon, if at all again. But I felt pretty good. Did I have a bowel movement as usual? I mean, I did. But one of the things that I did say is I went to Texas, a Brazilian, wait, Brazilian, yeah, Brazilian steakhouse, not a Texas steakhouse. Oh, I'm thinking of Texas Day Brazil. That's why I was like, what's Texas? I went to a Brazilian all you can eat steakhouse and I ate a ton of meat and rice and a salad. And even after that 7-day fast, I was afraid I was going to go to the bathroom immediately, but I didn't. I actually, I was there for almost 2 hours. I drove home and I had a regular bowel movement. I mean, just for people who are wondering. And I don't know. I don't know what it is. I feel like a lot of people have issues with their stomach, but I'm not. I don't know why I'm not in that camp. I did not have. It wasn't awful for me. Is I guess what I'm trying to say. Did you drink a lot of carbonated soda? I mean, I did. I had a Diet Pepsi when I was there, and I think I had Diet Mountain Dew when I got home to kind of finish off my refeed. But yeah, so Audie, thank you for the happy birthday wishes. Thank you for the $5 donation. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Savage Dad with a $5 super chat. Happy birthday, Savage Dad. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you all for the donations. Thank you even for, I mean, even if you're not donating, like, thank you for not only the support, but for wishing me a happy birthday. 43 years old. I still don't know how I'm 43 right now. I'm so old. Okay. Um, let's get back into this. So I talked about structure, I talked about discipline, but I'm I want to talk about accountability because that that was that was my that was my downfall when I lost all that weight and I kept it off for like 7 months after hitting goal weight. I lost accountability. I was too embarrassed. I gained a little weight. I couldn't get it back off. I couldn't get back into fasting. I was emotionally eating. I was so like stressed with work. And, these might sound like excuses, but I've already played this through my head many times. And I do feel like these are the reasons that I had an issue and I wasn't accountable. YouTube is my place for accountability and I wasn't showing up. So, not only is structure and discipline important, but if you don't add accountability, I mean, if you can't hold yourself accountable, which I don't think I can just by myself, I don't think I can just hold myself accountable. I need others. I need this community to show that I'm accountable. I need to be transparent because that's what keeps me going. You don't have to do it this way, but again, if it's a partner, if it's a close friend, if it's a small circle of people who are also fasting or working out, I mean, however you can put accountability somewhere, I think will be a lot more helpful than just keeping it to yourself. So the fourth thing I have here, and this is something that I forgot about and I'm recently remembering, especially. So some people have reached out to me for coaching, and it is something that I am going to start offering again. Um, but having a backup plan is something that I started thinking about as I started putting some like my coaching notes and stuff together. So because I need it too. I need a backup plan. Um, there's going to be a time when I'm not going to be able to do this 90 plus hour fast, or maybe if I, eventually bring it down to a 65 or a 42, there's going to be a point in time where something is not going to go the way it's supposed to go. The question is, and I'm asking you as the audience, is do you have a backup plan? If you don't hit your goal, and I was actually talking to my barber about this today because he was talking to me about fasting, and I was like, just remember, because he had these like goals of like, he's like, okay, you know what? Maybe I'll do a 36-hour first. And I'm like, listen, I'm like, if you don't do them normally, sometimes it's not easy to just do a 36-hour fast out of the blue. And I told him, I said, okay, if you can't do the 36-hour fast though, what is your plan after that? And we talked about it, and eventually he's like, well, then I'll do OMAD. And I think that's a great way of looking at it, is if you can't hit that goal, know what your backup plan is. Now I know, and we've talked about this before, I know there are issues where people, so like if you say you have a backup plan, sometimes that might be grounds for, well, I have a backup plan, so I'm not going to do the initial goal. You know what? That's on you. I mean, if you're using it as a cop out, that's on you. There's also nothing wrong with having a backup plan that works, because again, consistency is so much more important than the length of your fast. If you plan to do a 36 and you couldn't do it, and instead you're just like, fuck it, I'm just going to eat whatever for the rest of the night. Guilty. That's me. I've done that so many times, time and time again. But if you have a backup plan and you're like, okay, like I know I didn't hit my goal, I'm just going to do OMAD, or I'm just going to do a 24, like a 20-hour fast and then a 4-hour refeed or whatever. Give yourself some type of backup plan, hold yourself accountable, and then go again. Build that structure. Keep building that structure, because I think there's nothing better than looking at a calendar or looking at your notes and seeing that you've gone this far and you've been doing it for this long. Yeah, there might be a hiccup or two in between, but you didn't stop. And I think that's really the important part when it comes to this. Consistency is key. Consistency is king. I feel like I've already covered that by these things I've talked about. Consistency, consistency, consistency is so important. I don't think there's anything more important than the consistency of, once you build all these parts into your routine, the consistency part is the most important part. My Jesus, or my Jesus, with a $2 donation, thank you so much. Picture is very cute too. Thank you for the $2 donation. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Did I have anything after this slide? One second, guys. I have Q&A, so that's kind of what I want to talk about too. I want to go over these questions that people have asked. So, and this is in no particular order. I think I just went through like the last 2 days of Q&A, or that I could find on YouTube. So I just put this here. Also, for anybody who wants some Q&A right now, you can go ahead and ask questions, and I'll try to scroll up. I won't scroll up all the way, but ask your questions now. Even if you asked it earlier, ask it again, and I'll go over that after I do these. So, do you get sick after this large refeed? MJA 7282, no, I don't. If you watch my episodes of Refeed or any of the past ones, I do not get sick during any of these refeeds. If you're asking me if I get sick because I eat that much, that's just the way I eat. I don't feel that way. I also don't eat like that to show off. I eat to satiety. I know it's satiate. I eat until I'm satiated. Um, but I eat that way because that's how I eat. Again, for people who watch this, just because I eat this way doesn't mean you have to eat this way. Eat the way that works for you. If you eat healthier than me, that's more power to you, because that's a better way to get to your goals without having to eat like me. So I do not get sick after eating like that, though. If I did get sick, I would not eat that way. That would be awful. That would be like binging territory, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I eat until I'm satiated. So just, you know, putting that out there. What do you guys do if you hit a wall? Let me make this bigger so you guys can see it. What do you guys do if you hit a wall and feel you got to end your fast due to hunger pangs or general lousy feeling? Hyundai, is that your name? What do you guys do if you hit a wall and feel you got to end your fast due to hunger pangs or general lousy feeling? First of all, I said this last week, but you have to know the difference between if you're really you have to know the difference between if you're just hungry versus if you're feeling ill. If you feel lousy, break your fast. Break your fast. There's no shame in breaking your fast. If you feel like you can't do it anymore, if it's too much for you, end it. There's nothing wrong with ending it, but then go to your backup plan, right? What is that backup plan? Is it to go ahead, refeed for a certain amount of time and then go again? There you go. Is it to eat a 4-hour window, eat for the rest of the night so that like you can clear yourself mentally and then go again in the morning? Then do that. But don't get to a point where you cannot function, where you can't get through your day because it's so bad that you can't do anything. If you get to that point, break. There's no shame in doing that. That's just my advice. I also say it because I don't want people to get sick. I don't want people to pass out. Somebody had posted a couple of weeks ago about how they're fainting after a 48-hour fast, and I'm like, well, it should never get to that point. Do not get to that point where you're fainting or you feel that sick. I mean, that's a different issue. So, and if that is something that you're getting to that point, then you need to go see a doctor and figure out if there's another underlying issue. Okay, this one I need to enlarge. Came from your TikTok. I have more questions. What is your favorite fasting time for your rolling fasts? So Alyssa, my favorite fasting time for my rolling fast is almost always the same. I always refeed at night. I always make it the last thing I do for the day. So I work and I go to the gym and I work out or do whatever, and then I refeed at night. Even today, today's my break day. I'm probably 93 hours in now. Yeah, I'm 93 and a half hours in. And I told myself I wasn't going to break until I finished streaming today because I want to eat and then that's it, and then go to bed. But that's what works for me. I didn't know rolling fasts were a thing until I found your TikTok. Some people drink broth to break their fasts. Then real food after a couple hours. Do you know if there are any pros, cons to either way? I mean, so I've heard drinking broth, whether it's bone broth or I don't know, maybe other ones. I'm sure chat can be helpful here too. I think the pros on it is it's easier on your stomach. Is this something I've ever tried? No. Why haven't I tried it? Because I like to keep my eating window short, but also I don't really have like that bad of stomach issues. So that's kind of what works for me. I'm trying to decide what to eat at the end of the 90 hour I'm on right now. I mean, Alyssa, really, that's up to you. You have to see what it's like after you finish a 90-hour fast, how it feels when you eat a certain way. If you are unsure, then maybe do bone broth, right? Because, I mean, even though I have a 4-hour eating window, maybe yours isn't 4 hours. Maybe it's longer than that. Maybe that timer doesn't start until you have bone broth, and then give yourself some time. So you need to test it out and see what works for you. Hi, Jerome. I'm finally fasting again after life. If I have missed this, sorry, but in an upcoming video, could you share how you deal with being cold on fasting days? I know you have winter and also the cold from being by water. I'm in southern Alberta, So the house is cooler and outside at times just nasty. Thanks for sharing this journey. Deb, I mean, I think you being from Alberta, me being from Chicago, me living, I think I'm what, a block and a half by the lake. Um, it's layers. It's all layers. I just wear, so I like to walk outside, and even when I was like at my lowest weight, I was still walking outside. So I even had like less fat on me, right? And I wore just like a, I think I wore 4 different layers, but one, the very first layer, just being kind of like a long john, but just a very thermal one. So I just look on Amazon for that. If you're cold at home because you're fasting, like I get cold, I mean, I try not to turn the heat up, but I just wrap myself in blankets, or I'll wear a sweater or whatever, socks. But yeah, that's kind of what works for me. Layers. That's I think that's a Chicago answer to everyone. Like if you guys have never been in this kind of cold, layers. You just gotta layer up. You just gotta wear multiple layers. That's what helps me. Um, Hall GD49 says, "Do you drink alcohol?" I do, um, occasionally, but actually, when I'm fasting and I refeed, I don't really drink alcohol. The only time I drink alcohol is socially. So I don't drink alcohol by myself. I don't drink it at home. I mean, unless like friends were over or something. But drinking alcohol is a social thing for me. Um, Food is my issue. So I don't even know if that's what you were getting at, but yeah, I drink alcohol, but socially. Um oh, it's interesting how you open your banana. This was due to my refeed episode where I had, I think, 2 bananas. I think I opened it like a savage. Um I don't know. I was in front of the camera and I think I felt awkward. I open a banana like a normal human being. Or at least I try to. I don't know. I think I was under pressure. I just wanted to point that out. Uh, Question. Hope you can answer. Do you think you would get significantly less results if you were not going to the gym? Fasting as you do, but living a mostly sedentary life at a work from home job that keeps you in front of your computer. Significantly less results if I wasn't going to the gym. I don't know about significant, but for sure, I don't think I would be losing the weight I'm losing right now if it wasn't for my 1 hour plus walk 6 times a week. Going to the gym, I don't know if I'm really losing weight that way, but even if I am putting on muscle, the more muscle you have, the more calories your body burns in general. So I think it's just a huge benefit. I mean, I also do it just because exercise and walking and stuff, it's just such a great way for me to clear my head. It's a great way for me to kind of just be in my thoughts and figure out my issues. And even if I don't figure it out, it's a good way to, again, meditation, spirituality, those aren't the words, but I feel like lately, especially what's changed since before and now, is the mental part of what I'm doing. I think my head is a lot clearer. I think I'm a lot more focused. Um, but in terms of losing weight because of going to the gym and walking, I do think there's a difference. I don't know how significant, but I don't think I would be 31.6 pounds down in 28 days if I wasn't walking 6 days a week. Um, how big of a difference, I don't really know. But back in 2019 when I was fasting, I lost a considerable amount of weight without working out at the beginning. But it is nowhere close to what I'm doing right now. Like I feel like these first 28 days is a record of how quickly I've lost weight. I think I could look back in 2019 because I was taking record then of how much I lost in 28 days, but I'd have to take a look at that. So actually, I'm kind of curious. I'll have to look at that soon. Um, Okay, Jerome, I've always loved your channel and you're so inspiring. I was hoping to see smaller refeeds here as long term you'll need to be okay with eating small meals. I'm also so scared this is going to send you into another spiral again. Absolutely no hate, and I love fasting, but I've experienced the dark side to fasting, and it'll be very hard to tame the beast after months of restricting again. I wonder if your results will be the same if you look at your calories average over the week and just have those calories daily with pockets of shorter fasting periods that don't require you to eat so much in one go. Love you, Jerome. Um, uh, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Demim, De, De, Demim Eli Melba, 1057. Um, First of all, thank you for the comment. Thank you for the concern. I know this is a lot of other people's concerns too. Especially, saying something like you were hoping I was going to have a smaller refeed. Uh, in the back of my mind, eventually I would love to have smaller refeeds as my fasts start to get smaller, as I transition from a 90-hour fast to eventually a 65, and a 65 to eventually a 42. Um, the concern of getting back into like another spiral, yeah, that's definitely a concern. That's something I think about. People have asked that too. Like, how do you know this isn't going to happen again? How do you know you're not just going to disappear and start binge eating again and emotionally eating? And the answer to that is I don't know. But what I can tell you is I'm trying to do what I need to do. Um, I am a very all or nothing person, which is why I'm fasting the way I'm fasting. If I wasn't an all or nothing person, I think I would take a very slower approach at doing this. But I will say I'm very open-minded. It was something I did in the past too, where I lowered my fasting. And if you look at my latest videos before I left YouTube, a lot of it was trying to restrict my calories so that I stayed at a number where I wasn't overeating. Um, the difference from then into now is, again, I think therapy and being in therapy for over a year and kind of just like tapping into the mental part of where I'm at, I think gives me a lot more knowledge and wisdom than I had before, like understanding myself. I think one of the things that I talked about a long time ago was the mindset to do things and the mindset for discipline and the mindset to, you know, it was more of like uh I don't want to say a drill sergeant, but just like you got to do this. You got to have the mindset to do this. You got to focus. You got to concentrate. But I don't think the thing that I had then that I do now is giving myself space to appreciate who I am and respect myself for who I am. Things I've been saying a lot lately. And I think being able to love myself right now instead of hoping that, hey, when I get to this weight, I'll love myself better, getting that mindset away and knowing that I'm worth something right now, I think makes a big difference. I don't want to spiral back into that position. I don't. My goal is to do this for as long as I can and be as transparent as I can. And when I fail, to show that too, so people understand, like, hey, I had a hiccup, like I fucked up. Um, I want to be able to do that. And I think that's a big difference too, and this isn't only in my life of fasting, but just, in general with like people I've lost in my life due to my binge eating and depression and shutting people out. I think what I'm able to do now versus what I couldn't do before is own that. Accept accept the fact that, like, yeah, I have hurt people, like, not intentionally. My goal was not to hurt people, not to hurt this community, not to hurt loved ones. I had no intention of doing that. But because of because I prioritized food over anything else, that hurt people. And for some, I think they'll never forgive me for that. And I have to live with that. And those are some of the things that I live with when I say I slept 3 hours last night. These are things I think about. Um, it's very hard for me, like mentally. and it's it's even harder to not use food to numb that pain I get when I think about stuff like that. Um, yeah, that's really all I have to say there. I do appreciate your concern, and it means a lot to me for you to say that. And I know that you're not the only one who thinks that way too. But I yeah, that's really all I have to say on that. I just share that because I feel like that's the big shift for me now is like now you guys have seen me at my heaviest, right? So in a lot of ways, I put that vulnerability out there so that if I do slip up, hey, you've seen me now. You know what it's like. Um, I feel better in my own skin today. That's really the only way I can put it. So again, thank you for the question, thank you for the comments, thank you for the kind words for that. Um, I'm honestly inspired and motivated by your journey. Thank you. Thank you, Westfield 90. One question: when you refeed after a prolonged fast, shouldn't you have bone, chicken, or beef broth to go easy on your GI, which has essentially been turned off for the long fasting period? Isn't roughage tough as the first meal? Doesn't it cause GI issues like loose stools? So, Westfield 90, yeah, this is, and I put this here. Oh, I didn't know this is an option. That's kind of cool. Oh, I like that one. Oh, nice. Okay, I learned something new today. Um, yeah, no, I do believe that this is a thing because this is probably one of the most frequent questions I see a lot is stomach issues, stomach issues, stomach issues. Um, yeah, I don't do bone broth. I don't do any kind of broth because for the most part, I can eat whatever I want and I'm okay with it. You guys just saw my last refeed. During that entire refeed for the 2 hours and whatever, I mean, I didn't go to the bathroom once until later in the evening. Like, yeah, I did go and um I'm like trying to remember what my bowel movement was like. I to be honest, I don't think it was like completely like solid, but I think I went once and then I was fine. Maybe once again in the morning, but that's it. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. Like for a lot of you here, a lot of you recommend having broth or having something small, or someone else has mentioned yogurt, and I'm sure there are other ones. And maybe that's something I try later down the road, but right now it works for me, so I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. But it doesn't mean that you guys can't or you shouldn't. If you are having stomach issues and it's bothering you to that point, try this out. Try bone broth, try yogurt. I don't know what other probiotics, is that the word that you're supposed to have? I'm sure there's a lot of information on that. So maybe that's something people try, have it sit for an hour, and then see how your stomach is after that. So that's really all I have when it comes to that. Pila Love said, "Can you do a?" Oh, I want to do this one now. This is so cool. I like this one. Can you do a video vlogging your 90-hour fast, telling us how you're feeling, documenting it? Um, Pila, I so first of all, I don't have the time to do a vlog. I mean, it seems fun. I used to do vlogs back on my old channel before, but I so you might want to see how my 90-hour fasts go, but I pretty much am pretty transparent about it. But I'll give you a quick rundown. So tonight I'm gonna refeed, and then after I refeed, I'm gonna do my 90-hour fast. So the first 8 hours of my 90-hour fast are sleeping. Then when I get up, I work out, and then I go to work. And then by the time I come home, it's pretty late, and I'm so tired I go to sleep. And I pretty much do that until it's time to refeed again. During my free time, I'll watch some YouTube. I will scroll on my phone or play a game or something, but that's pretty much how it is. I don't have issues of like hunger like maybe some other people do, where the cravings are so bad that they can't like think about anything else. I don't feel that way. Yeah, I get hungry, and yeah, sometimes I'll eventually watch videos on YouTube of people eating when I feel that hunger because that's what helps me. But that's how my 90-hour fasts go. They're not anything special. Honestly, if I did a vlog of my 90-hour fast, it would be so boring. It would be so boring. Anyway, yeah. Is that it? I think that might be the last question here. Oh, one more. Do you mostly do low carbs on refeed days, or do you eat anything you want? I eat anything I want. I think I mentioned that earlier. I notice you're not eating a lot of bread. I'm not a big fan of bread. Rice. I'm Filipino. I could eat rice all day. Give me white rice with any kind of meat. I'll do it. I normally don't cook rice though because I try to eat healthy at the beginning. I guess you guys saw that on my refeed. I was a little surprised that some of the comments were like, "Oh, this looks healthy." I'm like, "But guys, I've been eating this way even before I left. I was eating that way." But maybe because I was eating 7,000 calories when I was like weighing 135, I think that was the bigger issue some people had. So I don't know. Okay. Uh, I'm gonna scroll up here to just see if any of you guys had any other questions. Um, do you ever take a weekend off? Marlana, do I ever take a weekend off of fasting? No. Do I ever take a weekend off of like breaking my fast early? No. I'm right now I'm on a very strict 90 plus hour minimum fast. So 90-hour fast, 4-hour eating window, 90-hour fast, 4-hour eating window, repeat, rinse. What is it? Rinse, repeat. um I do it because it works for me. I don't have a lot of trouble when I do it. You guys are seeing it. I'm very transparent about what I'm doing. Um, it would be funny if I was acting this whole thing out and pretended that like I'm saying it's easy or not saying it's easy, but that like, you know, it'd be funny if I turned the camera off and like, oh, this was the hardest because it's not. I mean, I think I'm just very used to doing 90-hour fasts. Like they work for me. My mind is very focused and I'm able to go to the gym. I'm able to work and be active. So I don't take weekends off. Question, Mr. VO, do you have any close friends you can rely on for emotional support? Mr. VO, yeah, I do have some close friends. They're you know what? I'm very thankful for my close friends. I'm very thankful for some of the relationships I was able to build back after being away and not talking to people for so long. So yes, I do have some support. I'm not completely alone. But again, like a day like today where it's my birthday and it was just me. Um, and it's not that people didn't offer to hang out and stuff. People did. Uh, but you know, um, 2023 Jerome versus like 2014 Jerome, two very different people. I was very social then. I had a very big circle of friends and family. Um, I don't have that anymore, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. Like I can, you know, like again, I own what's happened. Even though I didn't mean it in any intentional way, like people got hurt and it is what it is. So but I do. And you know what? I will say too, like you guys here in the chat, anybody here who's watching, people who comment or who just support and like or watch my videos, like that support is so meaningful to me. I can't even explain it. That's why I'm doing the stream tonight on my birthday, because it was important to me. It was important for me to do this stream tonight. Like I really find value in doing it and hopefully giving value to all of you as well. You eat until you're full. I do, Ken. I do. I didn't know if that's a question. Any foods hurt your stomach? Do you have coconut water with refeed meals? I don't know if any foods in particular hurt my stomach. I don't think so. I don't have coconut water with refeed meals. I don't know if that's a thing, but I don't do that. Um, you could have just ate lower calorie density food and get full with less calories. Ken, I get it. Um, but I also like to eat what I want to eat, and that's how I eat. So if that works for you, like go for it, man. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like do what you gotta do. But I eat the way I eat because it works and I lose weight and I feel good. So as long as I'm not binge eating by the end of the night, I'm good. I'm good. Um Jay, I don't know if that was a serious comment here. What brand Italian sausage do you use with your Brussels sprouts? I just get whatever I find at the Jewels, which is a grocery store here in Chicago. Sometimes it's the Johnsonville ones, but then sometimes they have their house brand, which is on sale. So I just get whatever. But I always get hot Italian sausage um, if they have it. I don't. That's like my favorite one is the hot Italian sausage. Ken asks, "What's your New Year's resolution?" I don't have one right now. I don't think I'm going to have a New Year's resolution. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And the one thing I've said too is I just want to, I just want to be a better person. Like I want to, like, I don't think I'm a bad person. I just, I want to be more mindful. I want to be, I don't know. I just want to be better. Um, I don't know if that's just like the old man talking at this point, but I feel like when I was younger, I don't want to say I was like completely selfish per se, but I thought more about me, I think, than other people. And I don't know. I just want to do good things. And yeah. Okay. How do you make your Brussels sprouts? So tomorrow, I have them, HALVE, half them. And then I put olive oil and salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, oregano sometimes red cayenne pepper, sometimes even balsamic vinegar after they're cooked in the oven. But I cook them in the oven. Well, the last ones I did were 425 for like 20 minutes, but I think I might do them either higher or longer because I want them crispier. But that's how I make them. That's how I make them. Um, Self talk about past failure. Any secrets to fight it off? Uh, talk about past failure. Um, I'm not exactly sure, Mountain Man, what you're asking. I don't know if you're talking about like past failure, like when I weighed 130 or 125 or 140, whatever goal weight I hit, and then I gained it all back. Um, that was past failure. Secrets to fight that off. I mean, for me, that wouldn't have happened if I was, I guess, I could say the things I've said earlier, like being more consistent and being more accountable. But I was emotionally eating, like I was feeding into that addiction, and I let that consume me. At that time, I didn't have any kind of like therapist or any kind of mental health talk. I think at that point, I feel like my ego was pretty big too, where I just felt like I can do whatever. Um, and I know now that like I got to where I got to not only because of like myself and my discipline or whatever, but because of like the community and the other people. I'm probably not answering what you're asking, but I will say that gaining all that weight humbled me. Um, it kind of like stopping the emotional eating put my issues face to face with what I was dealing with. I'm probably not answering that correctly, but hopefully there was some like nugget of knowledge there. So, uh, do you ever lie to yourself about breaking your fast, taking a bite or a few bites of something and keep the no four spiral arms? Never. I never do that. I think if you did something like that, I think you would maybe need to question a little bit of like, and I'm not saying you're doing it. I'm just saying in general, maybe someone who does that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you look at that differently than I do. But for me, I'm very strict when it comes to starting and stopping my timer. I will I will stop the timer when I swallow the last bit of food, but I don't take a bite or a few bites of something and I keep the timer going. I don't do any of that. So that's an interesting question though. I've never had anyone ask me that before. So um the messy minimalist life. Did you have loose skin the first time? Yeah. And I will again. So and I've talked about this in the past. I don't think I'd ever be comfortable to show my body that way, but I had loose skin at the bottom of my stomach, at the very top of my thighs, and you got to remember, like I'm 40, well, today I'm 43, right? But I've always been morbidly obese and I've lost weight, gained weight, lost weight, gained weight, and then again, lost weight, gained weight. Um, I get so like you can't see it now, but like when I start to really lose this weight, you're going to see this be really loose. And I'm really self conscious about this. And I don't even think I talked about this when I lost weight before, but you guys are going to see it. It's going to come. And like I get really self conscious about this loose skin here. When that happens again, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to, whatever. I mean, I dealt with it before. It's okay. Um, and then I had loose skin at the very top of my arms. Uh, there's so many people who talk about how fasting will cure loose skin, and maybe to a degree, but also maybe if you're 23 versus me who's 43. So I think it's going to depend. Uh, yeah. So okay. And I'm starting to get that cough again. My throat is. Guys, hold on 1 second because oh my god. All right, 1 second. Oh my god, I'm sorry about that. I'm probably gonna have to end this stream because like, oh, oh, did someone donate? Oh, laid by Nish. Oh my god, my voice. Let me get to that. So glad I caught a live. Just wanted some love because you're killing it. Laid by Nish. Thank you for the $20 donation. Oh my god, I sound awful right now. Thank you so much. I appreciate the donation. Thank you, thank you. It means a lot to me. I sound awful. Um, my throat. Oh God, I don't know. You ever get it where it just like won't go away? Oh God, I completely lost the stream. Sorry about that. Um, Lay by Nish, again, thank you for the $20 donation. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Guys, thank you. Thank you so much again for all the well wishes, for the happy birthdays. It means so much to me. And also, don't forget, I'm gonna read through all of these comments. Um, I think I've said this before, but I read everything. I might not reply to everything, but I read everything. So please don't think it doesn't go unnoticed because it does. I mean, it goes noticed, is what I'm saying. Patrice H with a $10 donation. Happy birthday. Thank you so much, Patrice. How do you handle others' opinions and people constantly asking why you are not eating? I found that the hardest thing to deal with. Patrice, so I think people know me now as the guy who fasts. So it's a little different. Um, People are going to have opinions. People are going to maybe look at you crazy because you're fasting a certain way. But only you know what's working for you. Only you know that like you're being in a better healthy state. Again, check yourself on that too. You know, make sure that you are in a good place. But um one thing I've learned over time too is you can only control so much, right? You can't control what people think. Um for the most part, I try not to tell people I'm fasting. I just, I'm like, I tell people I'm not eating or I'm good or, like I'm going to eat later. I do that at the photography studio a lot because some days we're there like for 6, 7 hours shooting. Sometimes people will take a break or we have like a designated lunch break and everyone, like all the photographers are eating. And like I'm sitting there with a Diet Coke and I'm just like, oh, I'm going to eat later. I mean, technically, I'm not lying. I'm gonna eat later. It might not be that same evening, but later. Anyway, Patrice, yeah, I'm sure you can figure ways out to do that, and maybe eventually. It just for me, I don't even feel uncomfortable if I tell people I'm fasting at this point. I'm just like, I'm not eating. I said that yesterday, last night. I met my cousin and some of his friends at a bar, and one one of his friends. So I wasn't eating. They were eating pizza and they were drinking, and I just sat there. But I mean, I didn't just sit there. It was a good time with them. But one of the guys is like, "Oh, you're fasting. So like, how long? Like 16 hours?" And like 90 plus. And he's like, "How long is that?" I'm like, 3.5 days. The look on his face, it was priceless. But anyway, Patrice, hopefully you find some kind of like solution with that. Oh my God, Brian with a $20 donation. Happy birthday, Jerome. Keep being the best version of you. Oh man, you made me emotional saying that, Brian. Brian, thank you so much, man. You guys probably don't know this, but I've known Brian for quite some time now. He's Brian found me from my other channel on YouTube. Brian's been a huge supporter always. He's a great guy. So Brian, thank you for the $20 donation. Thank you for that comment. I will. I'm just trying to be the best version of myself. Thank you. That's very well said. Um, did I miss anyone? I think we're good. Okay. Brian, thank you again. Everybody, thank you so much. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you for everything. I'm just gonna like go real quick just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Perry Lynn, do you use any kind of salt or electrolytes while fasting? I do. Um, Typically not during my 90-hour fasts because I I feel like I eat a pretty good amount that like I feel okay, but sometimes I will. Um, I do use salt. I use iodized salt from Morton's. Um, Other electrolytes, I use potassium, no salt. So it's called no salt. I'm not so you use iodized salt and you use no salt and magnesium. Usually they say magnesium citrate. I keep saying I need to give you those numbers, but if you guys need those numbers, um let me know, maybe leave it in a comment and then I can maybe answer it next week with the amount you're supposed to take every day when you're fasting. I'll be honest, I do not. Sometimes I will if I'm feeling a little off, but I'm for me, I'm okay. I'm not saying to do that because I honestly do think you should be taking your electrolytes. You should be taking the recommended amount that is being suggested or recommended, but we can talk about that later. So, um, okay, Perry, thank you for the question. I saw, okay, I knew Kelly asked a question. Uh, What are some tips and tricks to fasting around others when most social activities are food and or beverage based? This is a great question, and it's a question I think a lot of people end up breaking their fasts because they're caught in that social situation and then they feel like they have to eat or they feel like they have to be a part of it. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I mean, if you want to break, like go for it. But tips and tricks to fasting around others when most of the social activities are food or beverage based, for me, again, and I just did this last night. Um, People were eating pizza. There was like bang bang shrimp because I asked. I'm like, what kind of shrimp is that? They're like, oh, bang bang shrimp. I'm like, oh, I know that shrimp. uh, People were drinking, and I mean, it was cool. This happens to me a lot because now that I'm fasting again, it's like I'm doing this. When I fasted before, when I lived in California, and I didn't have my YouTube channel at the time, I was working with these guys and they ate all the time. All day they ate candy, whatever. They were like in their early 20s and they were like skinny and they could eat anything. And I would have to even go to lunch with them and just sit and watch them eat. Um, I don't know. Maybe I guess I've been doing it for so long that I don't even think about it. And you know what? I will say the one thing I try to do is not make them feel awkward when they're eating. Like I don't, you know, I try to keep the conversation going. I mean, I think that's the benefit too of me drinking a Diet Coke every now and then, or like, this Sprite Zero or whatever, is I have that and I kind of treat that as like my meal. It's like my like sweet treat or whatever. That sounds stupid, but that's kind of how I look at it, and I just keep the conversation going. Like it doesn't always, I'll comment on the food and be like, "Oh, that looks good or great." I don't know. I don't even know if I say. I mean, I did say that yesterday, but I don't make a big deal out of not eating. I don't make myself, the center of attention. Like I'm not eating anything. You know what I mean? But I understand like when everyone's eating and it's like, you know, mm, it feels like you feel like a little left out. Uh, I guess maybe my mind isn't there at that point anymore. I don't really think that way. There are probably better ways around it, but that's how I do it. I think just ignoring it, like it doesn't have to be a thing. Like it doesn't have to be called to attention. Not that I'm saying you're calling it to attention, but if someone does bring it up, you just be like, "Oh yeah, I'm not eating. No, I'm good." Like it doesn't. You don't have to say I'm not eating. You can just be like, "I'm good. I'm okay. I'm good for now." I mean, I think things like that could be helpful too. So, um, uh, DS34 IFI. There's probably some way you're saying that name and I'm saying it wrong. Is there going to be a wait list for fasting coaching? If so, can I please get on it? Okay, guys, if you guys really are interested in coaching, so right now my schedule is really really busy. I actually tried to go through some of my DMs that I haven't, and I just couldn't even get through. Like I think I got through a fraction of them because I have so many. But that's probably the best way to get a hold of me is DM me. Um, DM me at. Do I have this up here? Um, you could DM me at Finally Fasting on my IG on my Instagram, but you can also email me at I was gonna say you could email me at my. I don't have this on here. Let me do this real quick. If you guys are actually interested, you can email me at hello@jeromeortega.com. That's my business email, and that's where I get all my, important stuff. It's just if you guys are gonna email me there, like email me about something specific if you are looking for coaching. I can't just go through comments and stuff or just regular questions. Not that I don't mind answering questions, but I just don't have time to answer everybody. You can talk to me there. Really, what I'm doing right now, I'm just trying to do like 25-minute sessions with people once a week. If you need something that's more than that, that's just going to depend on my schedule. Usually, what I'll do for people is I have like a 15-minute consultation for free. Like we can talk, see what your goals are, see what you're trying to do, and then kind of go from there. Again, I mean, reach out to me if you guys are really serious about it. If you guys are on the fence, like really think about it before touching base with me. But anyway, yeah, that's probably the best way. So, um, okay, I think that's it. Oh, here's another question. Um, Jelaya, did I say that right? How do you stay motivated to lose weight when during the holidays when everyone else is eating all the time? I mean, this is very similar to what Kelly was asking. For me, I know when I'm eating and I know when I'm not eating. And that is what's the most helpful for me. I don't make excuses to tell myself, hey, like everyone else is eating. So maybe I should just break. I don't tell myself that. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. That's a judgment call on your own, but that's how my mind works. I have done this now for so long that that's where I put myself. This isn't the first time for me, right? This isn't you know what? Here's something I used to say that I just remembered too is I know that food looks good and it looks amazing and it would be great to break if you were doing your fast. But think about those things too. Like, are you breaking because you really have to eat? Like you feel so weak and you can't get around that you have to eat? Or are you breaking because you're hungry? If you're breaking because you're hungry, again, that's your judgment call. That's up to you and how you want to deal with that if you have a backup plan. But I think the other important thing to know is that food is going to wait for you later on. It might not be that specific food, but you can eat that later. You can get whatever you want later. That food isn't going anywhere. I haven't said that in a long time. It's weird how these things that I used to say are starting to come back. But I mean, July, I think about this too. So Thanksgiving, this past Thanksgiving, I didn't eat on Thanksgiving. In fact, I fasted that entire week. I didn't eat for an entire week. I went from Saturday to Saturday, didn't eat on Thanksgiving that Thursday. And I don't, and again, I'm not saying it because I'm saying that's what you have to do, but I I just instill that discipline in me to be like, okay, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm good. I'm good. I promised myself I wouldn't eat. I'm not gonna eat. I'm not thinking about food. I got other things going on. I'm gonna enjoy the people that are around me. I'm gonna enjoy their company. I'm gonna enjoy their time. We're gonna have a good time just being together. It's cool if they eat. Like there's no, like respect to them doing whatever they want to do. And equally, they should respect you for not wanting to eat. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it's the temptations very hard, especially hard, especially if you're going to be there all day with family and do whatever. But maybe what other people do, what I've done as well, is I will fast before those special occasions so I can break during those special times to eat with people I want to be around with. Ultimately, it's whatever works best for you, which I think I've been trying to practice with a lot of people. So, guys, I honestly think that might be it. Oh man, I lost all my files when I got kicked out of this stream, so I got to find that again. But um, you know, uh, again, before I go, I just want to thank everybody because I want to eat, guys. It's almost, what time is it? It's almost, it's 9:45 and I'm hungry now. And I still have to get up in the morning to work. So guys, I want to thank everybody today who wished me a happy birthday. I I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I feel like this is such a great way to kind of celebrate the end of my birthday, for you guys to be here and wish me happy birthday and comment. And again, I'm going to read through all of this later. For the donations, for the support, it means the world to me. It really does. It helps me keep moving and doing what I'm doing. And I don't know. I'm just so inspired and I'm so motivated to get to my goal. So I could be like, hey, I did it. Like if I can do it, you can do it. And I don't know. It's changed my life, and in a lot of ways, it saved my life. I mean, fasting, as crazy as it might sound to other people, fasting saved my life. I mean, I don't think there's any other type of, like, for someone like me who has disordered eating, who binge eats, who can't control the way he eats, fasting is a big solution to curbing that issue that I deal with. Um, Before I close out of here, again, I know times might be tough for some people. I know the holidays are around the corner. I know some people are just frustrated because they're not able to get their fasting routine down, that it's very difficult for them, that they can't do what they used to do in the past. I just want you to know that you are not alone. You're not the only one facing these issues. And I'm not saying that it minimizes the issues you're facing. I just want you to understand that this is always going to be an uphill battle. This is always going to be a challenge. Yeah, I might be losing weight right now, but can I consistently keep it off? That's a big question. And after I keep it off, can I maintain it? Can I keep my mind where it needs to be? Can I have like a balanced life? I mean, these are all important questions that I'm going to continually ask myself as I move forward in my journey. And I know eventually I'm probably going to have some other physical like challenges that come with it. So you are not alone when you're facing that. If things are so difficult right now, take some time to assess what you're doing. See if maybe you need to kind of just ease up a little bit on it. There's no shame in that. Again, the small successes are still huge successes. 1 pound a week, 52 pounds a year. Even if it's a half pound a week, that's still 26 pounds in a year. When was the last time you lost 26 pounds and kept it off? I mean, think of those small things. If I can be here consistently and just keep doing this, you can share your story. You can share your story of how long you've been here and how long you've been doing it. And hey, these small successes got me from this point to this point, and it works for me so well that mentally I'm good. I got everything in check. Life somebody wrote this in a comment, and again, I read everything, but somebody talked about how life just doesn't go in a straight line. Like life isn't just like a straight like up, like um life isn't always good, right? You're going to get ebbs and flows. It's going to be a roller coaster, and like I had a huge bottom when I, left YouTube and I gained all that weight and I didn't know how to deal with myself or other people, and I let everything just, I don't know, close around me. Um but I think one of the big things for me is like I did get back up, and I posted that picture on Instagram of me, and seeing that support from you guys was like a huge catalyst to tell myself I can do this again, and you can too. I mean, and whether you're new or you've been here before and you gained the weight back, or you're here and you're still keeping it off and you just need that inspiration or you need that community to keep you around, you're here right now. That's what chat's for. I love reading the comments of all of you guys trying to uplift each other and talk things out and work things through. I think that's amazing. I wish I could do that all day, but I can't. That's, you know, um, there's only so many minutes in the day and I have bills to pay too. So I got to go do my 9 to 5 and do all that kind of stuff. But I think what we have here is, I feel like it's a community that, I mean, I don't know. I don't go through a lot of other communities, but I feel like we have a very strong community. I feel like we get each other in a lot of ways. Almost when I read the comments sometimes and you guys tell me that you relate, I can't I can't even explain the feeling I get when I know that I'm not alone. And I feel like it's just something I say a lot is to know that we're not alone. It makes things feel like we can progress. Seeing other people do it means that like you can do it too. And that's one of the things too is like I'm 43. I'm 43. Um a lot of people who maybe hit their 40s, I don't know, maybe they don't look at life the same way, or they're just like, this is what it is. Like my metabolism's this, or I gained the weight and it's just so hard. I'm gonna show you. I was 40. I was 40 years old when I hit 125, my lowest. And again, I'm not trying to hit 125, but there's so much life to live. Um, and that's really what I want for like the rest of my years, is to live the best life that I can. And I'm just going to keep moving until, I can't. So, um, that's all I got. I'm trying to find this file here to like say goodbye. So, thank you so much again for stopping by. This is going to start playing. I'm going to put this out. Guys, take care of yourself. I'm going to see you soon.